Tonight's episode of the 31st Lap Podcast is brought to you by DirtTrackDigest.com. If it's on dirt, it's on Dirt Track Digest.
This is the 31st Lap Podcast, recorded live in the studios of FingerLakes1.com in downtown Seneca Falls, New York. And now, your hosts, Chris Marquardt.
Good afternoon. Welcome to a very quick sprint version, if you will, of the 31st Lap, episode number 204. Before us, eyeing large on the horizon right now this weekend, the Coal Cup over at Utica Rome Speedway. 31st Lap sponsoring lap number 30, $31 going to the leader of that lap. Stu Friesen so far has been the only person ever to win the Coal Cup. I'd like to see our buddy Stu go for 3 in a row. He had a pretty good run in the NASCAR Camping World Truck Series race over at Eldora. We've been away last week. We had some activities over at the Seneca County Fair that we were committed to. It was mostly our family, and just wanted to go hang out and watch some of the figure 8 racing and demolition derby program that they had in Waterloo. I was excited to see that last week. It's been a very, very, very packed 2 weeks. Looking back, we'll start right up with Eldora. Matt Shepard coming away with the 100-lap win. Excuse me, my mistake. That was Tim Fuller winning the 100-lapper over there at Eldora. Matt Shepard turning around the next night in the 30-lapper, picking up the win in that abbreviated feature. Sort of an invitational, if you will. It was the top points guys, and there was 4 at-large, almost to say provisionals, guys who were the top 4 finishers that were not already in the top 25 in points, filled in the balance of the field. So that was kind of exciting to watch. Matt Shepard winning the 30-lapper, and Stu Friesen. What a job he did driving the Hallmark number 16, that truck. He got up he was racing right up there with the leaders and was doing a great job. Got tangled up in a wreck. They had the competition stoppage, which gave him a chance to fix it. He restarted back about 14th, 16th, somewhere in there after he started for the initial start. He was started 12th. Drove right back up through, and he was fighting in the top 5, top 7 thereabouts until started trailing a little bit of smoke, and he was forced to pull off. But nonetheless, good run for Stu, and there was a lot of attention put on him over the course of the last week. And then Jimmy Phelps turned around, and he won at Sharon Speedway, which was pretty good news for him. Ran away with it, did a real nice job with that victory. Coming up on the topic of Jimmy Phelps, coming up this weekend was supposed to be coming up here in this stretch of the Super Dirt Car Series was supposed to be one of the Weedsport races, but they have since moved that Super Dirt Car Series date into August. The Hall of Fame 100 is going to be next on the docket for Weedsport Speedway. Hall of Fame 100 is the Super Dirt Car Series big block tour with an Napa Sportsman Shootout Series, and then that Super Dirt Car Series date that was planned for this week has been moved to Labor Day weekend, taking the spot that was supposed to be giving everybody more time to make it to Weedsport, since this time of the year is so jam-packed with travel times for the 2 races in Ohio. Then the tour was up in Canada here over the weekend. Matt Shepard picking up a win. Frank Cozy also picking up a win. I think Cozy won at Drummond, and it was Matt Shepard picking up a win at wrong page. Got to jump over here so we can pull that. Matt Shepard winning at Granby. He is so good at Granby. I think it was like his 5th or 7th career win. Let me make sure. 5th Super Dirt Car Series win of the year, and it's his 3rd win at Granby. It's not too bad. Not too bad at all for the way that this season's been going for Matt in the first year with running his own team. Matt, at this point, has about a 60-point lead. About a 30-point lead. He's up 28 points over Stu Friesen, already having won over $37,000. Taking a look back real quick to last weekend on the local level at Brewerton, Mike Bowman picking up his first career modified feature, Max McLaughlin. He was up at the point for a very short period of time before Bowman's able to get back around him. He took that lead and held it through a late restart. Tim Sears chased him, Chris Heil, Max McLaughlin, Jimmy Phelps filling in your top 5 at Outlaw Speedway. Alan Johnson picked up his 2nd win of the year. Steve Payne was behind him. Steve Payne was leading that race. And for several laps, about 9 laps or so, the back end, the bird cage on the corner had broke, and he was dragging trailing arms, and the back end was chucking back and forth real bad. And finally, they came to the white flag. Alan Johnson made a big dive bomb move around the outside and passed him. And then Steve Payne hit one of the tires, one of the turtles on the inside, messed up the steering. So he's going down the back stretch, trying to steer it off just one side. The back end's chucking all over the place. Alan Johnson, he went to the win. I didn't really think that Steve was going to be able to do anything with him anyway with the battle that he was fighting inside the cockpit. But third place didn't end up going around him at all. Daryl Hilkert, Gary Tompkins, Brady Fultz filling in the top 5. Steve Payne holding down second. Drove for 3/4 of a lap with a lot of ailments on that car. That was the same car that they ended up putting a new rail and some other new components on the right side. We'll touch on that here in just a minute when we get to Canandaigua Motorsports Park. Other winners at Outlaw include Mike Buchanan, who picked up his first Sportsman feature of the year over Chris Silvers and A.J. Lloyd. Jason Knowles, he picked up yet another win in the crate late models over Adam DePay. Brad Smith won the IMCA feature over Phil Yaw and Rich Karlnoski. Laverne Knickerbocker got his third win of the year in the street stocks with Chuck Winslow and C.J. Guerrero behind him. Saw some notes from Frankie Guerrero. Looked like it was a Sportsman car that they were working on, so it looks like Frankie Guerrero might be changing seats out of the crate late model that he's been running over at Canandaigua Motorsports Park. And I talked to C.J. Guerrero, and he said maybe even a street stock is in the cards for Frankie. So we'll have to follow that a little close. Ray Heyer, it's his third 4-cylinder feature win on Friday night at Outlaw. J.J. Cradler and Cody Baker. Following him, Jordan Bacon winning his 4th youth feature of the season at Spencer. Tim Gullo, he absolutely dominated the New York Superstock event. Here's the problem. It didn't have legal heads on the car, which could potentially be the reason why he dominated so effectively. He was disqualified. The win was handed to Mitchell Wright. The NYSS Series is going to be back at Spencer on the 5th of August. Saturday night, we touched on this one. Steve Payne, he went back to victory lane. Tim Fuller and Matt Williamson were watching from behind. Billy Decker, Peter Britton filling the top 5. Payne finally got back into victory lane. The dry, hot, just sometimes miserable weather that we've had here the last couple of weeks left Canandaigua pretty dry. It was just shiny top to bottom. And Steve was driving on the inside line. Matt Shepard had a flat tire, which handed the lead over to Steve Payne. And he stayed on the bottom and drove to the win. This was the same car that he's been running there all year, same car that he's had at Outlaw. And after he had that jingle last week, they had to put a rail on it, some new front-end components. And he said the car has absolutely new life. It's not even like the same car. It's much, much faster, much, much better. So hopefully this is a sign of good things to come for the Hurricane. He said maybe even it was a little bit better than he was ready for it to be, as fast as the car was. Kevin Root, other winners at Canandaigua Motorsports Park. Kevin Root won over Nick Guerreri and James Sweeting, Matt Guerreri, and Dave Marcichelli in the Sportsman finale. Jason Doty won the Pure Stock feature with Mark Manutolo behind him. Lee Sanders, another win of the 305 Sprints, and Steve Paseric won the crate late model feature at Fulton. Tim Sears, he waited out a battle, man. It was a great finish over at Fulton on Saturday. Ryan Phelps and Billy Whitaker were neck and neck for it. And Sears ended up finding an opening, got past both of them on the final lap. Whitaker, Phelps, and Larry White with Chris Heil filled the top 5. Great finish there. Dave Danzer won the Mr. Novella Super Modified feature at the new home of Super Dirt Week, Oswego Speedway, topping Joe Gossick in the 50-lapper. That was a special event. Mr. Novellis honors there at Oswego Speedway. Dave Gruhl, DJ Shulick, and Michael Barnes were in the top 5. Mike Bond won the 35-lap Mr. Pathfinder Bank feature for the small block Super Modifieds. Mike Bruce and Dave Cliff behind him. Good to see Alex Hogue in the top 5 there. He was 4th with Dalton Doyle filling in the top 5. We talked a little bit about some of the action on the Super Dirt Car Series. Matt Shepard won at Grandview. Backed that up with the win in the support feature at Eldora. Stu Friesen running in the top 5 before he was sidelined with mechanical problems. Fuller won the standalone 100-lapper. And the Tour was in action, as we alluded to just a moment ago, up in Canada with Matt Shepard and Frank Cozy pulling down wins up there. At Outlaw Speedway, they're going to be busy this weekend. Real busy. Friday, Saturday and Sunday, David and Buzzy Rudeman are going to be in town, meeting and greeting with the fans. Big 2-day weekend for the modifieds. Friday night, small block, big block modifieds, crate sportsmen, crate late models, street stocks, 4-cylinder bandits, pretty much more or less the regular program. Buzzy Rudeman and David Rudeman are going to be competing in sportsman and the modified division there. The top 3 finishers are going to be guaranteed starters on Saturday, regular handicap lineup for the starting lineup on Friday night. Saturday, which is Superior Crushing Night, 3,000 to win, modifieds 200 to start. Grit Sportsman on the card, 1,000 to win with 100 to start. Fight Night Street Stock, 700 to win, 75 to start. 4 Cylinders, 500 to win. CRSA Sprints, that racing begins at 6 o'clock. Grandstand's adult ticket for Saturday is only $20. The redrawing for the starting positions in the mains. On Sunday, if that's not enough, you can visit Outlaw again for the Outlaw Car and Motorcycle Show and Music Festival. It runs from 1 to 1:30 until 8 p.m. Small Town Shade, Devin Franks, and Badwater are among the bands that are going to be in attendance for the music part of it. The car show itself starts at 10 a.m. All these details are available online at outlawspeedwayllc.com. And turning our attention back quick to the Coal Cup. This is the richest 360 race in New York State, and it is now part of this neat Mid-Atlantic Crown Series, which is the weekend of money, if you will, working closely with Williams Grove Speedway and their National Open, which pays $4,000 to win, as well as Selinsgrove Grove Speedway's National Open, which pays $10,000 to win. If you can win all three, it means you take home $34,000 just in winnings. There's contingency money in there, $2,000 point fund from Einstein Construction, which is going to be split among the top 10 drivers during the weekend. Another $2,000 participation pot divided among drivers that go to all three races. That's sponsored by Fox Shocks, ASI Racewear, Dave Frantic Auto Sales, Donut Racing. Dirt Track Digest has posted a $100 Fast Time Award. They're going to present a championship belt to the overall point champion from the three races. It's pretty cool. And then, like I said, 31st Lap is going to be involved with that as well. It's pretty cool the way that thing has come together. And again, that's going to cap with the Coal Cup at Utica Rome over the weekend. Stu Friesen, like we said, he's the only guy that's ever won one. So we wish him the best as we go into the weekend. Coal Cup racing is going to get underway 6 o'clock on Sunday. Gates open at 3:30. Joining the cars on the card is going to be the Gates Coal Insurance Modifieds and the SUNY Canton 602 Sportsman. You can jump on to uticaspeedway.com for additional information. It's $500 to start that, if you can believe that. I mean, you're talking about a 24-car field, $10,000 to win first place at the Coal Cup, and $500 to win just for starting the feature. Not too bad. Awesome way that whole thing is coming together. Again, this is going to be a bit of an abbreviated edition of the 31st Lap. We're only going to be in here for about 10 minutes, and we have covered pretty much all the bases that we wanted to hit on for the course of the evening. We wish all the drivers that are going to be in action the best of luck. Super Dirt Car Series, we wanted to hit their schedule quick before we got out of here, and I forgot to jot down the notes on that one. And this is the part where you get to watch me look at the computer for a minute. As always, Tuesday and Wednesday. Tuesday, Frank Hosey. Matt Shepard won Wednesday at Granby. They're off until the Monday-Tuesday double down the first week of August at Merrittville Speedway and Ransomville Speedway. And then we turn around on the 9th, which is a week from next Tuesday. We are back at Weedsport. So only 3 races for the tour in the month of August. Then we get into September, which opens Thursday, September the 1st, Lebanon Valley, and then Monday, September 5th, at Labor Day event for Weedsport Speedway. So wishing everybody good luck that is in action here this weekend. I think that is going to do it for this quick edition of the 31st Lap. Thanks for joining us here for this one, and we will be back next week when things are a little bit calmer. I think it's been a tough stretch with all the derbies and stuff. We were in Dunkirk, New York, doing a live show with Crash Course on Tuesday. We were in Whitney Point last night, and we're going to be our buddy Josh Decker from Crash Course Podcast is going to be in New Alex, Pennsylvania Friday, driving with Todd Siopa. Saturday's Ontario County Fair at Canandaigua Motorsports Park. So the modifieds are off that weekend. They're not running Saturday. No racing at all in lieu of their demolition derby action. So we'll be there on Saturday, and then Sunday we're back in Dunkirk. Busy stretch of the year. We're going to be back again next week. Hopefully we'll be able to round up a few guests that aren't going to be busy getting cars and etc. together. I want to catch up with Ray Heyer and still want to try and get Danny Kay on the show. We will catch up with you again next week. Thanks for joining us here on a quick version of the 31st Lap. We will see you then.